After 9 years of marriage and a 7-year-old daughter, my marriage fell apart. My marriage to Sarah lasted 9 years. We shared a beautiful 7-year-old daughter, Lily, and for a long time, I thought we had built something solid. But cracks began to show, slowly at first, then all at once. It started with Sarah's growing insecurities. She became obsessed with the idea that I was hiding something from her. Every night, she'd go through my phone, scrolling through messages and checking social media. I had nothing to hide, and she never found anything. But it didn't stop her from accusing me of having an affair or planning to leave her for someone younger. I used to laugh it off, thinking she was just being overly dramatic. Sarah was only 31 at the time, and I was 37. I constantly reassured her, telling her how beautiful she was and how much I loved her. But no matter what I said, she struggled with her self-esteem. She often mentioned feeling unattractive after Lily was born, saying her body had changed too much and that I didn't look at her the way I used to. Our intimate life was steady, though not without its ups and downs. Some weeks we were together 2 or 3 times. Other months, it might only happen once or twice. Regardless of frequency, I always tried to make her feel loved and appreciated. When she wasn't in the mood, I respected her space. I loved Sarah deeply, and I thought our connection would carry us through any challenge. My routine was predictable and transparent. I worked just a few miles from home, so I usually left work at 5:30 p.m. and was home by 6 p.m. sharp. I even came home for lunch most days. There was no time or opportunity in my schedule for any kind of infidelity, but Sarah's paranoia persisted. She claimed she felt abandoned and invisible. One day, Sarah came to me with a flyer a friend had given her. It advertised a cosmetic surgery clinic, and she told me she wanted to get a tummy tuck, breast implants, and butt augmentation. At first, I thought she was joking. Sarah had always been a stay-at-home mom, managing the house and taking care of Lily. We lived solely on my income, which covered our mortgage bills and Lily's private school tuition. We were comfortable, but didn't have the kind of money for luxury procedures. When I told Sarah that we couldn't afford the surgeries, she became upset and said she'd find a way to pay for them herself. She even talked about getting a job, but nothing materialized. Instead, our arguments escalated, mostly about money and her dissatisfaction with our lifestyle. After months of tension, I made a decision I now regret deeply. I sold my car, a truck I had worked years to buy and dreamed about owning for over a decade. I loved that truck, but I sold it to pay for Sarah's surgeries. In exchange, I took over her older sedan, which wasn't nearly as reliable. I convinced myself it was worth it to make her happy. The surgeries went ahead, and Sarah was ecstatic with the results. Her confidence skyrocketed, and for a while, our relationship seemed to improve. She smiled more, dressed up more often, and even complimented me again. I thought we had turned a corner. But within 3 months, everything changed. Sarah started spending more time at the gym in our neighborhood, working out and flaunting her new body. She became distant, treating me with indifference and sometimes outright disdain. Then, out of nowhere, she told me she wanted a divorce. Her explanation? She said she had married too young and missed out on experiencing life. She felt I had lived more because of my age and wanted the freedom to explore her own path. I was blindsided. Sarah had always known I wasn't the most experienced person when it came to relationships. She was only my second girlfriend, and I had committed to her wholeheartedly, believing we'd grow old together. Her excuse felt like a betrayal, as if everything we'd built together had been a lie. But I didn't beg or argue. I told her calmly, "If this is what you want, Sarah, then it's over for good. There will be no second chances." She hesitated for a moment, her face flickering with uncertainty, but ultimately she stuck to her decision. That was it. The woman I had once trusted with my heart had chosen to walk away. The divorce process was grueling, emotionally and financially. We sold the house we had lovingly made into a home, along with her car, to divide the assets. The furniture we had picked out together became just another thing to split. I moved into a modest rental house, small but cozy, and made it a place where Lily would feel welcome and happy. I picked Lily up every Friday evening, excited to spend the weekend together. But every Sunday, as I dropped her back off at Sarah's mother's house, it felt like I was leaving a part of my soul behind. Lily struggled with the separation. She clung to me at drop-offs, tears streaming down her little face as she begged to stay. "Daddy, please don't make me go back. Mommy's never home. She's always out." Her words gutted me. She felt neglected, and hearing her pain made me resent Sarah even more. Despite my efforts to shield Lily from the fallout, she was caught in the storm. Sarah's nights out at bars and constant outings with friends left her feeling abandoned, and it broke my heart to know my daughter was suffering. I wanted to fight for full custody, but I knew the court would likely favor Sarah as her mother. All I could do was make the most of our time together and be the steady presence she needed. About a year and a half after the divorce, Sarah's life took an unexpected and dramatic turn. I got a call that she'd been hospitalized. Her body had rejected the implants she had been so desperate to get, leading to a severe reaction that nearly cost her life. I didn't have all the details, whether it was a rupture, a leakage, or just her body rejecting the foreign material, but the damage was extensive. The implants had to be removed, leaving her with significant scarring and a body that no longer resembled the confident woman she had once been. When I saw her after she was discharged, I barely recognized her. Sarah, who had once radiated energy and beauty, now looked frail and hollow. Her cheeks were sunken, her frame painfully thin, and her appearance was a shadow of the woman I once knew. Despite everything, I felt pity for her. No one deserves to go through something so devastating, but I couldn't forget how she had treated me. After her recovery, Sarah started reaching out to me more often. At first, it was always under the guise of Lily, questions about school, drop-off times, and scheduling changes. But soon, the conversations turned personal. She confessed she had started attending church and claimed she regretted the choices she had made. "I've been thinking a lot," she said one day. "Maybe we could try again. For Lily's sake, she deserves to grow up with both parents under the same roof." I saw through her words. They weren't about Lily, they were about her. I responded without hesitation, "Sarah, I've always been there for Lily, and I always will be. If you're so worried about her upbringing, you can give me full custody." She quickly backtracked, fumbling with excuses about how she had misspoken. But I wasn't fooled. I knew exactly what she was trying to do: crawl back into my life now that she had nowhere else to turn. I made my position clear. There was no chance of reconciliation. It wasn't about her scars or her altered appearance. I had loved her for who she was, not what she looked like. But love couldn't erase the betrayal, the disrespect, and the complete disregard for the sacrifices I had made for our family. She had broken something that couldn't be fixed. Now my focus is entirely on Lily. I've worked tirelessly to provide a stable, loving environment for her. I bought the house I had been renting so she could have a true home, complete with a swing and a slide in the backyard. Watching her laugh and play brings me more joy than I ever thought possible. She knows she is my priority, and that knowledge has strengthened our bond in ways I couldn't have imagined. As for Sarah, she seems lost. Her health problems and altered appearance have made it difficult for her to move on. She's struggled to find another relationship, and I hear whispers from mutual acquaintances that she regrets how things ended between us. But that regret isn't my burden to carry. This experience has taught me some of the hardest lessons of my life about love, sacrifice, and self-worth. I've chosen not to remarry, not because I lack opportunities, but because I've realized that my happiness doesn't depend on a relationship. My life is dedicated to being the best father I can be and ensuring Lily grows up knowing she is loved unconditionally. For now, that's more than enough. If you have a similar story, Share it with us in the comments if you'd like me to narrate it. Thank you for watching until the end. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. See you next time.